Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the latest and greatest in Pokemon TCG news. This is the Poke Advisor podcast, and today we're bringing you the 10 most expensive Pokemon cards of 2024. So the year's almost over, and we've got our numbers in, and we're going to see which cards made the top 10 of most expensive cards. When 2024 began, I expected it to be a relatively quiet year in terms of Pokemon prices. That's true. This hype and boom kind of started in the later half of the year, once the Scarlet and Violet set kind of went into the more popular cards. Really after Pokemon 151, which we see on the screen here, you've got, let me see if I can zoom this in. So we've got Charizard, whose market price is $221 right now. I remember when it first approached 200, and now it's soaring above that. Other people like to call it no neck Charizard because, as you can see, he's missing his neck, which is kind of odd because usually Charizard has a longer neck in terms of other Pokemon. And then coming in at $75 is Venusaur, and $75 as well as Blastoise. Beautiful artworks. I don't have any of these. I wish I did. I do have the Ivysaur from 151, but these are beautiful cards, and that is probably one of the catalysts that resulted in all this Pokemon hype going on right now. In January, Pokemon fans were still delightedly digging in Scarlet and Violet 151, a blockbuster set, while everyone loved piecing the Kanto Pokedex. They weren't superheating the market the way pandemic era collectibles boom and End of Sword and Shield had. I figured we'd get more of the same in 2024, only this time without a Crown Zenith or a 151 to spice things up. So here's some Paldean Fate Pikachu, Bianca's Devotion $30, and Pekarunt, by no means the more expensive cards. Paldean Fates was respectably popular, but then Temporal Forces, Twilight Masquerade, and Shroud of Fables seemed to usher in a quieter period for a Pokemon card collector. That's true. These are the less popular sets. I really like them. I think there's a lot to love, but I want to say it's more for die-hard Pokemon fans or cult Pokemon fans that are kind of up to date to not the nostalgic fans, but the ones that are up to date with the modern era. Wow, so these may appreciate in 10-20 years when that fan base grows older. While players continue to enjoy a diverse metagame and record-breaking tournament attendance, many collectors seem comfortable passing on the sets dedicated to Scarlet and Violet's DLC. I love Scarlet and Violet DLC. I love Pekarunt in the DLC. I love everything it had to offer. This set was obviously appealing more to the modern era of Pokemon fans and not the older generation. So we know Umbreon 1377. Morty's Conviction is pretty cool at 37. Weird buyouts, Moonbreon breaking 1000, a $200 Greninja. The demand is as strong as ever. I agree. If the Pokemon Company interests with another blockbuster, we'd be back to sky high prices. That other blockbuster is going to be Prismatic Evolution. There's no doubts about it. It's 100% guaranteed that's just gonna reignite the flames that weren't even burnt out. I'm really looking forward to that set. It's going to be hard to get your hands on it. I think a lot of the culture is going to be really immersed in that set, and it's just going to bring back Pokemon collecting for at least the next 6 to 8 months, if not longer. And there's even more hyped sets that are coming out later on, so that momentum is really going. The bigger the momentum, the longer it's going to take to burn out, which the prices will go down at some point. The amount of buyers exceeds sellers. At this point, nobody wants to sell their stuff. So and that's just going to keep prices rising. But then there's no buys. And once that happens, prices start to come down a little bit so that people will start buying the products again. Alright, moving down. Surging Sparks Booster Box. So we see this going at $230 on TCG Player. So this was $100. I got mine for $100, $105 maybe, which you'll never find for a booster box, by the way. So to see it go to $230, that's a really nice appreciation for the box. Definitely well deserved. And that's what we got just in time for the holiday. Surging Sparks arrived. That's true, it just came out like last month, or was it the beginning of this month? I can't even remember anymore. I think it was last month. Trainers took up the challenge, sending Surging Sparks boxes to ridiculous prices. Okay, when we look at them later, if you manage to open any of the cards on the list, count yourself lucky. I agree. I barely have any of these, which are all high value cards, you know. All right, so that was the introduction. So starting at number 10, Alolan Executor. I've talked about this card in many other videos. I love the design of this card. I think 100 is a great price. I can see it holding this price for a while now. Do I think it deserves to appreciate? Yes, I do. Will it? Executor, it is technically a dragon, but it's more of a grass. I don't know if there's many fans of Alolan Executor. It's still an Executor, which is a Gen 1, so that's great. It's got that going for it. It's from a highly popular set too. Beautiful artwork. I love the tropical vibes. So will it get to a $200? Maybe someday. I just don't see that being right now. Wouldn't have missed the list when it first released. Wouldn't. But apparently this tropical plant is cold tolerant because it absolutely bloomed in December. Looks like it could be due to success alone found in Regidrago V-Star decks. It has the Swinging Fiend, flip a coin if heads, knock out your opponent's active Pokemon. If tails, knock out one of your opponent's benched Pokemon. So that's, I mean, come on. That's like a no-brainer for a set, especially if you can get them out with these energies as soon as possible. Last card on the list getting the Pika Bump. So again, it got the Pika Bump solely being from Surging Sparks. I really like this card. I love the gems on its head. It looks like fruits on a tree. Okay. Raging Ball. This has a really nice appreciation. Whenever you see a card, so this is kind of still finding its place because it's kind of up and down. It just came out. We expect it to be very volatile. But when you see this nice steady appreciation over a long period of time, this is like an organic price, and I believe it deserves this organic price at $110. Raging Bolt. Funny story, I have the Walking Wake and I have the Gouging Fire. Raging Bolt's the only one I don't have, and it's the most expensive at $110. I would have thought the Walking Wake would have been the most expensive because it's Suicune, but this just shows you how valuable artwork is, and it has, Raging Bolt has the nicest artwork. Like, there's no argument about that. Objectively, the nicest artwork. Went through ups and downs. Let's see, 6 months, 1 year. So again, like I said, volatile at the beginning, smooths out, usually down because it peaks when it first comes out and then smooths out. And now it's slowly finding its price, which is good. We like slow price growth. Had time to accumulate, had time to grow interest, and now is finding a really good place to settle at. All right, fast forward to Twilight Masquerade, Raging Ball. Okay. Hydreigon, also love this card. Oh my god, I can only imagine what this card would look like in person. Just had to zoom out a little bit. So Hydreigon premiered at 120, dropped to 70, and now is at the 100. This is a nice card. It's a dragon. It's in Surging Sparks. What more can I say? I think this is going to be a highly collectible card. I can see it appreciating in the same amount of time as Dragonite from Evolving Skies, whatever price that is at right now. I can see Hydreigon, so 160. So I can see Hydreigon getting there easily, and it debuted at 120. It doesn't have any competitive accolades. It doesn't need them. All it needs is a breathtaking illustration by Akira Igawa. Beautiful. Yeah, I agree. Melodic at 146, and we talked about Melodic in an earlier video, where Igawa's work feels heavy and powerful. Kuramori's feels light and airy, but no less enthralling. I agree. Look at this, just swift, beautiful colors. Just look at the delicate lines and the way the light is shown to change as it travels through the water. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Wow. This enchanting art has one special illustration, rare melodic, plenty of fans. There are a lot of Gen 3 melodic fans out there. I'm not saying I'm not a fan. I'm just saying I don't really see what the hype is. I think a lot of people that love melodic started Pokemon from Gen 3, so it's kind of like a symbol for them. Hypno Splash 160 and your opponent's Pokemon is asleep. Charizard EX, nice appreciation all the way to 160. I still see this going up. I think 160 is pretty cheap. And it's an Akira Igawa. Akira Igawa is making a name for himself this year, almost as popular as Shinji Kanda. Very sharp. Darkness type Dragon, Paldean Fates, shiny, and reimagined last year's Obsidian Flames. True. There's a lot going on visually, but the excess is kind of the point when we're talking about the ultimate chase card from a special. I totally agree. I think I don't think there's a lot going on. I think there's an appropriate amount going on, and with the white in the back, it doesn't take away from the message behind the card, which is a shiny terrestrial dark Charizard. This was the ultimate chase card for most in 2024 until it got usurped by a certain psychic Scramp in a blue bubble. They're talking about the Bubble Mew. Before we get to that though, we have to talk about the Pikachu from Surging Sparks. And no, not that Pikachu. So this one, $200 it peaked at, now it's settling at $160. It's a Pikachu and it's from Surging Sparks and it has a gold background. Not a fan, but yeah. It's a very iconic looking card, I'll say that. Latios, so we know the story about Latios and Latios. Latios peaked at $260, is now $230. I think these are going to be $1,000 cards easily. So this may be a cheap price for them. Two big innovations have made collecting modern Pokemon cards feel especially rewarding. The first and most obvious is inclusion of alternate arts. Starting with Sun and Moon series and continuing to illustration and special illustration rare cards and the Scarlet and Violet series. These full card artworks give illustrators the space and opportunity to put unique spins on these timeless characters, and they're so popular, it's barely worth remarking that 9 of the 10 cards on the list have this treatment. Obviously, I think vintage cards are falling out of favor, and we'll get to Umbreon in a second, but vintage cards are falling out of favor for these new full art cards. There is one vintage card from vintage style card, I should say, from Terrestrial Festival that has actually outshone the full arts, and that is the reverse Pokeball Umbreon. I don't see why a half of an artwork on a card will be more expensive than a full artwork on a card, but I think that just goes to the rarity of a card, you know. People want what they don't have, and that Umbreon is one of them. Okay, Bubble Mew, we've talked about this story before, and it peaked at $305, coming back down to $275. It's got nice artwork, very simple, from Usman. Makes Pokemon fans too. They have the same energy as a G-rated Newgrounds Flash animation from the early 2000s. Do y'all remember those? And fans dig it. This is the new top card of Paldean Fates, and while buyouts may have contributed to its precipitous rise up from $90 in the beginning of October, a less unique looking card wouldn't have been able to hold much. Yeah, exactly. It's very unique, very simple. And I think people like this simplified cartoon look with the strong black outliers. Greninja, this is the face of Twilight Masquerade, $330 now. And it's probably at its all-time high. Was everyone surprised by this card or just me? I'm not surprised. Greninja is basically the second coming of Charizard. It's an Ash card. It's an Ash Pokemon. You know what I mean? So no, I'm not surprised. And then, to no surprise at all, Pikachu EX from 576 at its peak on the release of Surging Sparks down to 490. It's rare, it's pretty, it's Pikachu. What more could you want? This is a very hard pull, by the way, from Surging Sparks. Same qualities of Charizard, such a drawn 151, only it's much harder to pull. And with a Surging Sparks reaching $200 a box, you're going to have to spend a ton of money to find one of these in the wild. No wonder it's a seller's market. With an absurdly low pull rate, I think the pull rate is what really adds to its appeal. But that's not the end of the story. While it's true that Pikachu EX is the most valuable card of the year you couldn't find by opening booster packs, it's not technically the most expensive printed in English, and that's the Paradise Resort at $525. Jeez, the staff one at least. You only get this by attending Worlds in Hawaii. So, normal version gifted at World. The one stamped staff were provided to people who worked the event, and going by market price, they're slightly more valuable than every SIR Pikachu EX. Wow. Next round, one stamped placement from top 32 to champion, awarded to players who managed to reach those placements at their respective Worlds event. Naturally, the higher the placement, the fewer people won those cards. You shouldn't expect to come across these very often, and I haven't seen any sales of ungraded champion cards. But if you're going by literal scarcity and theoretical value, Champion Stamp Paradise Resort SV150 is the most expensive English Pokemon card of 2024. I could only imagine how much that would cost. Let's take some time to appreciate the artwork. Pikachu surfing with a bunch of island-like Pokemon behind it. Beautiful. Very beautiful. Can we buy it? I wouldn't think so. Oh, $700. Okay. Near meant for $50, huh? Worth it? No. I'd say it's worth it. $50 doesn't seem so bad. This is the non-stamp though. I wonder if anyone's selling the staff stamped. $524, and that's the only price you're gonna find it for. Wow, pretty cool stuff. I would have never guessed it. What do you guys think? Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, leave a comment about all the expensive cards and what you thought would have made the list. And talking about like, comment, subscribe, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to be in the chance of winning a Prismatic Evolution Pokemon Center ETB. I really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. And yeah, we'll get on with the episode. So Pokemon TCG restocks and news. The second part of the Venusaur Wonder event is now live, where you can buy the playmat, card sleeves, coin, and icon until December 19th with the Wonder Pick points. I had enough to get the sleeves and the icon, so I'm still saving up for these. This is interesting. 151 booster bundle back at Walmart for $29. I tried. When I click on the website, it just takes me to an $80 page. So if you have better luck, let me know. I'd really I think $30 is a deal, but I haven't seen it yet. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. Crown Zenith booster bundle, I could care less for these because of the Sea and Sky box, which I would say is probably the best deal for Crown Zenith. This is 6 for $28. Yeah, Sea and Sky is where it's at. More 151, so we've got the Alakazam and the booster bundles at Target and Walmart. This was posted 23 hours ago of making this video. I don't see it online, but if you can find it, let me know. Hope you guys are lucky enough to see it at your Target and Walmart. And yeah, here's the list again. Exactly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I really want this one. I have this one. I think this is the only card I have on this list. Yeah. They're expensive. Pokemon, like I've said before, Pokemon collecting is not a cheap hobby. We've got some Paldean Fates tins at $30 at Walmart. Again, we saw that. And then some Prismatic Evolution pre-orders on Pokemon TCG restocks and news. Talked about that. Is this the same? No, this is Pokemon deals and news. So different site. and I could have sworn there was something I wanted. So we talked about Alakazam at Walmart and Target, as well as some ETBs if you haven't gotten a chance to get those. So someone bought 5 of them. No wonder they're out of stock. These are back up. I don't know if anyone remembers these, the plastic container ETBs. $10 off when you buy 5 at Target. Not a bad way to store your sealed products, ETBs specifically. And then last but not least, a Nintendo Switch accessory maker leaks the design of the Nintendo Switch 2. This is allegedly what it's going to look like, or at least while in the case. So it looks like a Nintendo Switch from the outside, but if you look deeper into the case, we can see that there's a grip stand and grips on the controllers. So it'll be interesting to see when it comes out, but it looks a lot like the original Nintendo Switch, just with a bigger screen. I don't think they need to change much with the original Nintendo Switch design. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to see what the hardware specs are. Alright guys, again, like, comment, subscribe to be in a chance of winning Prismatic Evolutions, which will be announced on January 17th. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.